Let's be real, we are absolutely swimming in data. It's everywhere. But most of it, it's just noise, a chaotic jumble of information. The real trick is figuring out how to turn all that chaos into something useful, right? So how do we do it? Let's dive in. And that's the big question, isn't it? I mean, the answers we're looking for are buried in there somewhere. You just need the right tool to dig them out. Kind of like a digital pickaxe, if you will, to unearth those valuable insights. So when you hear the word pandas, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably this little guy. And hey, he's adorable, for sure, but not exactly the tool we need for data analysis. Nope, we're talking about this pandas. It's not an animal, it's one of a data scientist's most essential tools, and its whole job is to take that messy, complicated data and whip it into shape so you can actually understand it. Okay, so we've established it's a big deal, but what is it, really? Let's dig in and figure out what makes it so indispensable when you're working with data in Python. All right, here's the official breakdown. You see all these great words, right? Fast, powerful, flexible. But what it all boils down to is data analysis and manipulation. Basically, think of it as your workshop for data. You bring in the raw, messy stuff, and Pandas helps you forge it into something clean, organized, and ready to go. So why Pandas? I mean, there are a lot of tools out there. What makes this one the one everyone seems to use? Well, it really comes down to a few killer benefits that just work so well together. And really, it's this combination that makes it such a game changer. First off, it is fast, like ridiculously fast, even with huge amounts of data. It's also super powerful and flexible, so you can slice, dice, and reshape your data however you want. And get this, it's open source and totally free. That's a huge plus. And maybe the most important part, it's built for Python, which means it plugs right into the whole data science world seamlessly. Okay, so how does Pandas actually do all that cool stuff? Well, the secret sauce is really in how it organizes information. It all boils down to two core building blocks, something called a series and something called a data frame. And if you can get your head around these two, you've basically unlocked the keys to the kingdom of Pandas. All right, let's start with the first one, the simplest one, this series. You can almost think of it as the single atom of data in the Pandas universe. It's the smallest piece. So if you want to get technical, a series is a one-dimensional labeled array. But honestly, the best way to think about it is just as a single column of data, like in a spreadsheet. And that one column can hold pretty much anything, numbers, text, dates, you name it. But here's the thing that makes a series so cool. It's not just a boring old list of data. See those labels on the left, the P, Q, R, S? That's called the index. By giving each piece of data a custom label, Pandas makes it way, way easier to find and work with your information. That little connection right there, that's the secret sauce. And this really gets to the heart of what makes a series different from a regular old computer array. See, a basic array just uses numbers for positions. You have to ask for item 0 or item 1. But with a series, you can use those custom labels we just saw. You can literally say, hey, give me the data for Q. It sounds simple, but that shift from just numbers to meaningful names is a huge deal for keeping your data organized. Okay, so let's build on that idea. If a series is just one column, what do you think happens when you stick a bunch of them together? Yeah, you get the absolute workhorse of Pandas, the data frame. A data frame is pretty much what it sounds like, right? It's a frame to hold all your data. It's a two-dimensional grid with rows and columns. Basically, a spreadsheet or a table. And the really cool part is that each column can be a totally different type of data. You can mix and match text, numbers, and dates all in the same table, no problem. And this is probably the best analogy you'll ever hear for it. It's like a spreadsheet on steroids. I mean, that's perfect. It has that comfortable, familiar feel of a spreadsheet that we all get, but it's backed up by the incredible power and speed of Python. So you can do crazy complex things with millions of rows of data that would just completely crash your typical spreadsheet program. And this is what it actually looks like. You've got your labeled columns at the top, like name and age, and hey, each one of those columns is actually a Pandas series. See how it all connects? Then on the left, you've got your row index with its own labels like S1 and S2. It's just a super clean, really powerful way to keep all your data organized. Okay, so we've got these awesome data structures, this series and the data frame. But so what? Why does any of this actually matter? What can you do with it? Well, this is where the rubber meets the road. Pandas is pretty much the starting point for almost any data science project you can think of. It's what you use to take all that messy, ugly, real-world data and clean it up. It's the bridge that lets you explore it, analyze it, make charts, and eventually feed that clean data into powerful machine learning models. At the end of the day, what Pandas really does is let you have a conversation with your data. It gives you the power to ask it questions and actually get answers back. It changes you from someone just looking at numbers to an active explorer. So the only real question left is, now that you have the tool to wrangle all that data, what are you going to discover?